Welcome to the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, a podcast for high-achieving women who are great at making money but struggle to build wealth. You'll learn how to take control of your money, increase your net worth, and make more. Ladies, it's time to create a life with more money and more freedom. Let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I hope you all are having a fabulous week so far. And this episode today is going to be all about goal setting. And I know that we're in the thick of the holiday season. This is the very beginning of December as I am recording this. And I know many of you are having lots of fun, going to lots of holiday parties and just enjoying the festivities. And I hope you all are just enjoying that. And I hope you're having a great time. But I also hope that you are being mindful of your money and not overspending during this holiday season, because I believe that you can spend this holiday season and enjoy it without overspending. And I talked a lot about this during episode number 37, which was titled How to Avoid Overspending During the Holidays. So if that is you, if you're someone who feels like, you know what, I think I'm overspending a little bit, I think I'm going a little bit overboard, I want you to know that it's not too late to rein things in, because we do not have to take an all or nothing approach when it comes to our money. And here's what I mean by that. So I'm going to use an eating analogy. So let's pretend you have a goal of losing 15 pounds because you want to feel better in your clothes. Maybe you have a health diagnosis and your doctor has advised you, hey, it would be great if you lost a little bit of weight, and that's your goal, right? And you love your goal. You really want to achieve it. You've set that goal out of love for yourself, not out of punishment for yourself. And you're just like, yes, this is my goal. But maybe during Thanksgiving, you had a plan. You had a plan that you were only going to eat a certain amount of desserts. And maybe you did not necessarily follow through with that plan. As humans sometimes do. Sometimes we make plans and we don't necessarily follow through with them. That's just part of being a human being. But here's when the all or nothing approach can get us in trouble. So maybe you did have more dessert than you wanted to have. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, I had more dessert, let me get back on track, you say, well, I already ate all of this dessert. Let me just keep going all the way until January 1st. And January 1st, I'll get back on track. So from Thanksgiving all the way through December, all the way through all the holiday parties and all of the festivities, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And I'm throwing my goal and my plan out the window, all because during Thanksgiving, I ate more than I wanted to. That's kind of having an all or nothing approach when you're like, either I'm going to do it perfectly or I'm not going to do it at all, right? And sometimes we can take that same approach with our money, where we could have a plan to spend a certain amount of money for the holidays, and then we just blow through that plan. We overspend and we decide, you know what? The heck with it. I already overspent. I'm going to keep overspending. And January 1st, when I wake up in the morning, I'll deal with it. And that is what I want you all to kind of be aware of. If you're having that kind of mindset, if you're in that kind of mindset, I want you to know that it's not too late to decide that you're not going to stay in that mindset. Because just because you may have overspent, just because you may have overeaten, doesn't mean you have to continue to do that for the next month or so. Okay. So if that is you, if you're finding yourself kind of like in a spending frenzy and you feel like you're overdoing it a little bit, guess what? Awareness is everything, because once you see something, you can't unsee it. So if that is you, I want to invite you to go back and listen to episode number 34 and just reset, right? You don't have to beat yourself up about what you've done. You don't have to feel bad about it. And you don't have to continue down that road. You can literally just draw a line in the sand and say, okay, I'm getting back on track now. And I'm going to save myself from having a rude awakening on January 1st. Okay? So I wanted to just point that out in case you are in that mode of where you're just like, in a spending frenzy and you think you can't get out of it, I want you to know that you can, especially if you want to, especially if you desire to, especially if you want to end 2023 on a really solid note so that you can begin 2024 just with a bang. Speaking of 2024, I'm super excited to announce that the Ultimate 2024 Money Planning Workshop will happen on Tuesday, January 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so excited to host this workshop for you all. This will be an opportunity for you to come and set your 2024 financial goals, okay? Here's what we're going to cover during this time. We're going to properly assess where you are so that you can give yourself a fresh start in 2024. We're also going to look at how to set goals that feel amazing to you. So when you leave this workshop, you're going to have a financial goal that you feel motivated about, that you feel determined to actually achieve, and I'm going to help you to do that. You're also going to learn my process for achieving any financial goal you set for yourself, and how to set yourself up for success so that you actually reach your goal instead of fizzling out by mid-February, right? Because here's the thing, a goal without a plan is just a wish. This is a quote by, I hope I don't butcher his name, it's a French name, it's Antonio de Saint-Exupéry. He said that quote and it's so true. I want you to go from just having a goal that never ever becomes reality to having a goal and then creating a plan for how you're going to reach that goal and then actually following through with that plan so that that goal can become a reality. So if this is something that you want to take part in, you can go to the show notes and click on the link and register. The workshop is only $37. It's a steal, I know. It's available right now, or you can simply go to jermainefoley.com/2024, and that's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/2024 and grab your spot. Spots are limited. This will be interactive. It will be via Zoom. You do not have to be on camera, but you will be able to raise your hand, ask questions, and get my help with setting your goals and answering any questions you have. So if you are interested, I will snag the spot now. All right, let's get into today's topic. So for the next several weeks, we're really going to be diving deep into goal setting and why it's so important and the reasons why we set goals and all of that good stuff. But for today, I really want to focus on 3 reasons why you don't want to set goals, right? There are reasons to set goals, but there are also reasons why we don't set goals. And I want to point those 3 out to you. And really those 3 reasons are just mindsets. There are mindsets that many of us have, and we try to set goals because of these thoughts we have about ourselves. And it's almost like we're setting the goals, trying to make ourselves better, trying to fix ourselves and all of that. And I want you to know that you can't fix yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You are amazing just the way you are. So we never ever set goals to make ourselves better. That's never the goal. That's never a good reason because you're already great. You're already good. You're already amazing. You were born that way. And so today I'm going to really break down 3 different mindsets that some people take on when they set goals. And so let's go ahead and dive in. Number 1, I'm not good enough. So you may look at your net worth, you may look at how much money you have, how much money you don't have, how much money you make, what your debt level is, and you may feel bad about yourself and think that, oh my gosh, I need to fix myself. I need a bigger net worth. And we mistake our net worth for our self-worth, right? And I want you to know that your net worth doesn't determine your self-worth. You were born good enough and worthy. Your worthiness is inherent. So no amount of money and no level of net worth can change that. So we're never ever going to set goals to make ourselves good enough. It's impossible. You can set 1,000,000 goals and it will not make you good enough because they can't. Goals don't do that. You are already good enough. And so when you set goals, I want you to set them from a place of enoughness, from a place of I'm amazing and I want to achieve this goal, from a place of I'm already good enough and it will be amazing to set that goal and to actually hit it. So we're never ever going to set goals to make ourselves good enough, because no goal or nothing outside of you can make you better, because you are already great. Your worthiness, your enoughness is sealed and you were born with it. And I know along the way, so many of us have picked up thoughts and things that society have taught us about ourselves, and they're just false. They're not true. I believe we were all made by God and He didn't make any mistakes when He made us, and you are good enough. So the second reason why we do not set goals is because we think we're bad with our money. I hear it all the time. I'm just not good with money. I'm bad with money. I'm bad at math. I'm just not good with money. This is never a reason to set goals, because it's almost like you're trying to set goals to make yourself good with money, when the fact is you're not bad with money. That is just a thought error. That is just a wrong way of thinking. You are not bad with money. Wherever you are financially is not a personality flaw or evidence that you're bad with money. Okay? We are all products of our circumstances, environment, upbringing, culture, socialization, and societies that we live in, right? You learned about money and how to handle it from how you were brought up. There's so many things you picked up along the way. And so let's give ourselves some slack and stop telling ourselves that we're bad with money. We just have some habits, and maybe those habits, we want to change them, and that's okay, but we don't have to tell ourselves that we're bad with money. The current financial results that you have right now are simply the results of a few things. Your past circumstances. We all were dealt circumstances that were outside of our control. Some of us were born into wealth. Some of us were not. Some of us were born into families where money was talked about and celebrated. And some of us were born into families where there wasn't enough money, right? So we all have different circumstances that we were born into. And not only are those circumstances a part of the reason why we have the amount of money we have, but also our thinking, our feelings, and our behaviors and our inactions with money. Those are also reasons why we have the current financial results that we have. So the circumstances are outside of our control, but everything else I just mentioned are totally within your control. The way you think about money, the way you feel about money, the way you act with money, the way you don't act with money, all of those are in your control today. And the money you have right now is because of how you behaved in the past, how you thought in the past, how you felt in the past. And if you continue to think, feel, and act in those ways, you'll continue to create the same financial results over and over and over again. But here's the good news. If you start to think differently about money, change that mindset, stop telling yourself you're bad with money or that you're not good enough, the way you feel about money, if you change that, instead of feeling scarce around money and you start to feel abundant, if you start to feel like money is fun and feel motivated about your financial situation and about changing it, like if you start to feel that way, if you start acting differently, if you start taking care of your money, planning it ahead of time, not overspending it, investing it, making more of it, you will change your financial results. It's inevitable. If you start to think, feel, and act differently with your money in a way that's aligned with abundance, you will have more. Where you are now financially is not fixed. It's just a snapshot in time, and you are not too far gone to change where you are. You can totally change where you are. And that is why I'm hosting the money planning workshop, because I want to help you to Start thinking differently about your money and start acting differently and behaving differently with your money. Okay, so if you are interested in the workshop, just go and sign up for it in the show notes or at jermainefoley.com/2024. Number 3, the third reason why we do not set goals is to beat ourselves up for past behavior, right? So we may not necessarily like the behaviors we engaged in the past. And so sometimes we put ourselves on really, really strict budgets to hit these really, really big goals, to get ourselves back on track, to whip ourselves back into shape because we don't like what we've done in the past, right? And so, as I said, we set a really big goal and we set that goal from a place of disgust. Like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Now I need to set this really big goal and I'm going to put myself on this really, really strict budget so that I can hit this goal because I'm so disgusted with myself. And when we do that, all we do is set ourselves up for failure because that strict budget we put ourselves on, when we tell ourselves we can't have this, we can't buy that, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that out of disgust for our past behaviors, we set ourselves up for failure because it's impossible to follow through with it. And so when we don't follow through with it, what do? We beat ourselves up even more. And when we beat ourselves up, we feel bad. And remember, our primitive brains hate to feel bad. And so we do things to make ourselves feel better, like maybe eat or drink or spend even more money to make ourselves feel better. And we just continue down this cycle. Okay? So we spend and spend to make ourselves feel better. And then again, we feel disgusted with ourselves. So we put ourselves on a strict budget again. And we don't follow through with it because it's just too restrictive. And then we beat ourselves up even more. We feel bad and we keep going on this cycle. Okay? Notice that with all of these reasons I gave you today, all of them were not from a place of self-love. So I'm not good enough. I'm bad with money, or I need to punish myself for bad behavior, using air quotes with that bad behavior. Just notice that all of these reasons were not from a place of, I want to grow, I want to evolve, I want to become wealthy. They weren't from a place of love or compassion, right? They were from a place of disgust. They were from a place of punishment, from a place of, I did something bad and now I need to fix myself. And when you're setting goals, that is never, ever the place you want to set them from. You want to set them from a place of self-love, growth, compassion, and evolution. So when you're setting goals, always check in on the reasons why you're setting them. Do you like those reasons? Does your reason feel good? Does it feel motivating, or does it feel like punishment? Does it feel like, oh my gosh, I'm setting this goal because I want to grow. I'm setting this goal because I have big plans for my future and I know that these goals will help me to reach those plans. Are you setting those goals from a place of, I want to be wealthy, I want to set myself up for success, and so I'm going to set these goals so that I can be successful and have plenty of money and live the life that I truly want to live, one that's full of peace, one that's not filled with stress and money struggle, right? Those are the reasons why you want to set goals, not from a place of punishment, not from a place of disgust with yourself, right? Of self-loathing. You want to do it from a place of compassion and love, not from a place of shame. So next week, we're going to explore the reasons why we do want to set goals and how to feel really, really good when we set them. But remember, we're never setting goals from this place of, I'm bad with money, I'm not good enough, or I need to punish myself or fix myself. We're not doing that to ourselves anymore. And when you can set goals from that place, then maybe, just maybe, you can stick with them and not fizzle out by mid-February. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be so cool? And that is what I'm going to help you to create during our money planning workshop. You're all invited to it. It's only $37. You can go to jermainefoley.com/2024 to register, or simply go to the show notes. And if you cannot join us live, not a problem at all, because everyone who registers will actually get a copy of the replay so that you can go through the workshop at your own pace when you have time. Okay? I will see you all next week. Bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're ready to create a life with more money and more freedom, then you're invited to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, my signature coaching program where you'll learn how to take control of your money and build wealth without sacrificing your lifestyle. To get started, head on over to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. See you over there. Bye-bye.